So today we continue with our new class, Halachos of Brochos, and today class number 2. And let's start with Chofetz Chaim. And it says, Sefer Chofetz Chaim, big topic for the subject's benefit. So we're allowed to talk Lashon Hara if this person is going to benefit. So basically we're trying to help him. Passing judgment. Before assuming that a person's action merits tachacha, reproof, reproof is a better word, one must be absolutely certain that he has in fact sinned. So first of all, we need to know the halacha, and we need to know that he did something wrong. From the command, judge your fellow favorably, in Vayikra 19:15, we learn that if person appears to be committed transgression, which is totally out of the character for him, we are to seek to understand what transpired in a positive light. If there is any way to interpret his actions as involving transgression, we are required to do so. Not involving transgression, we are required to do so. So what does it mean? So basically, you know this person is a kosher Shomer Shabbos person, and he does something like out of order. What he is doing? He's going into his car and start driving somewhere. So it's been a Jewish custom for some time. So if you have emergency, you need to go somewhere on Shabbos. So you put talis, right? Talis on top of your head, so to show everybody that you're aware that today Shabbat. I know that I'm driving, right? So that like signal of distress, basically, right? So I must drive on Shabbat. So if you know that there's a kosher person and he does so we must judge him favorably. Okay. If it is absolute, if there is a possible, so if he drives on Shabbat, there is probably maybe his wife is giving birth, maybe his child broke his leg. I mean, many scenarios, right? So that's very simple to judge him favorably. It is absolutely clear that the person did sin. If it is absolutely clear that the person did sin in a manner which is out of the character for him, then we must assume that he immediately regretted his action and thereby repented. To discuss the incident with anyone constitutes speaking Lashon Hara. So here's a different scenario. So okay, we know that he's very righteous person and he did something, and there is no any other explanation as he actually did something wrong, right? So, but still, if he's a righteous person, we should assume that he did tshuva, and that's it. It was 1 second, whatever, 5 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever he did. Now he did tshuva. He's totally forgiven if it's a positive thing or negative. Okay, it's on suspension, whatever, until the Yom Kippur, basically. But the thing is, I mean, he's forgiven. So Hashem forgave him, and we still insist. That's a problem. All right. So we stop here. Okay. So Halachos of Brochos. So last time we finished with introduction, right? Did we do introduction? Yes. Oh, last time we learned like essence of the bracha, what it's constituted of and stuff. Okay. So this chapter, number 1. I know page 7, if somebody follows. Okay, so it says prerequisite for making a bracha. Introduction. This chapter discusses the important prerequisites. A prerequisite is that which required beforehand, meaning before you're allowed to say bracha. So in what condition you should be, like how you should be dressed, like to what degree you should be dressed, and like in what position you should be, and stuff like that, right? And all of your like surroundings. So one more time, this chapter discusses important prerequisites for making a bracha. In section A, we discuss the prohibition of making bracha in the presence of a person who is improperly clad. So meaning improperly clothed. Right? For example, although men may make a bracha in presence of other men who are wearing bathing suits, he may not do so in the presence of his wife while she is so clad. Okay, so that's a big difference between man and woman, right? Continue. The section B, we discuss being adequately dressed while making a bracha. For example, although one make a bracha while clad only in a bathing suit, right, one may not make bracha while wearing only bathrobe without fastening a belt. It's actually, B'siyata Dishma, it was our discussion yesterday, right? So we said that you have to like close yourself, or maybe he has a belt in this bathrobe, right? In section C, we discuss the halachah of having one head covered while making bracha. For example, if one places his short sleeve over his head, this also is considered sufficient to head covering, and bracha may be made. So just so meaning the sleeve with his shirt on, or wear a jacket or whatever he has. So since it's not part of him, it's like foreign object. So it's going to be like head covering. Continue. In section D, we deal with prohibition of making bracha in the presence of soiled diaper or other foul materials. Okay, so if something smells bad, you're somewhere and there's a garbage, whatever the thing is, so you're not allowed to make bracha.
Sorry, the previous rule, the hand does not count as covering.
I think say it again, please.
A sleeve as covering the head, but a hand, our hand does not.
No, your hand is not covered, but other person's hand can be considered covered for you. If he puts the hand on your head, it is covered. I mean, we're talking about in the case where when you don't have kippah or head, right? Okay. So because your head, your hand is part of you. Your sleeve is not part of you. It's a foreign object. You know, or his hand, somebody else's bare hand, is not part of you. So that's why it works. But I think we're going to learn this in details. Okay. In section E, we discuss other prerequisites for making bracha. For example, after scratching one's head, one should not make bracha until he cleans his hands. Okay. In section F, we examine some practical application of halachas discussed in this chapter. So I like this book. He gives like a little short introduction, like a roadmap, what we're going to learn in this chapter. Okay, note. Okay. In all of the cases discussed in this chapter, where in reciting a bracha is prohibited, davening or speaking divrei Torah is also prohibited. So I mean, I'll try to do this reference always, like when we're going to learn Be'Ezrat Hashem. So I mean, so if you cannot make bracha, so you cannot pray Shmona Esrei, for example, or say Shema. It's exactly the same laws, or say Dvar Torah. So the Divrei Torah, right? Divrei Torah meaning that you cannot learn Torah, or you cannot say Tehillim and stuff like that. For example, in section A2, we discuss that a man may not make bracha in front of the woman whose arms are exposed from the elbow and above, or whose legs are exposed from the knee and above. Although we only addressing the prohibition making bracha, it should be noted that he may also not daven or speak divrei Torah in front of the woman so dressed. Okay, so here we go. So when someone right comes to my house, so my wife, and there is a woman, so we try to tell her right to be properly dressed, right? Otherwise, I mean, it is a problem. For example, it's only one family comes, right? And I mean, it's a small table, right? So you cannot not to see her. Of course, you can look different way or stuff like that, but basically, if your sleeves is above the elbow, right? I mean, of course, you don't see her skirt how long, like if she is next to the table, but or she like has opening here, so that's a big problem, basically. right? So you're not allowed to say Kiddush also. Okay, continue. A. So now we're going to one by one, and we're going to Be'Ezrat Hashem explain. Yeah.
But after the fact, is the bracha okay or no?
After the fact, I'm not sure. We're going to see. Let's go case by case. It's not always the same. I mean, because he was forbidden to daven. How's it? Okay, I'm not. Let's go case by case, basically. Okay. So in the presence of unclad person, so somebody is undressed. An important prerequisite for making bracha is to ascertain that it is not being said in the presence of person who is not adequately clad. Okay. 1 second. What is it? There is okay. So commentary. While seeing his own nakedness, that is facing his own private parts while reciting bracha. Right? While making bracha, while looking at one's nakedness, prohibited min Torah from the Torah. Nakedness, facing the private parts, he recited bracha. Making bracha while looking at. Okay, so if person is looking at his own private parts, I'm not sure why would he do that, but he does, so it's prohibition from the Torah to say bracha. Okay, so now, but we are talking about the case we're going to discuss now. It's actually about, I'm not sure if this one related. Maybe it's not related. I apologize. This one is, okay, I apologize. Sorry for confusion. It was a wrong count. Okay, so one more time from the beginning. An important prerequisite for making bracha is to ascertain that it is not being said in the presence of a person who is not inadequately clad. So, person next to whom you are saying bracha should be dressed. The halakhic definition of nakedness is dissimilar with regard to the men and women. So, men and women totally different definition as we learn in the Kitzur actually. The definition with regard to unclad man is discussed in part 1 below. Okay. The definition with regard to unclad woman discussed in part B. So of course it's a big story. Okay. So it says the poskim enumerate 5 types of cases delineated in a footnote below, whereby one is prohibited from making bracha due to the nakedness. One of these cases refers not to making bracha while seeing another person's nakedness, which will be discussed in this section. Okay, so let's see. 1 second. Let me close the window. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. 5 cases of nakedness. Number 1, while seeing his own nakedness, that is facing his private parts. The following are cases where one is prohibited to make bracha due to the nakedness. Right? One may not make bracha while seeing his own nakedness. So while he's undressed, he's not allowed to make bracha. That is facing his private parts while reciting bracha. Making bracha while looking at one's nakedness is prohibited from the Torah. Clearly, okay. So as we said, some prohibitions are biblical and some prohibitions are rabbinical. Number 2, while facing another person's nakedness, the halakhic definition of nakedness is dissimilar with regard to men and women. These halachas may be found in Shulchan Aruch or Chaim 75. Okay. This is also Torah prohibition, meaning other person nakedness. So you're not allowed to say blessing in the presence of other person nakedness. Number 3, while unclad, even though he cannot see his private parts while making the bracha. For example, he is standing unclothed in one room and sticks his head out of the door in order to make a bracha. Even though he cannot see his nakedness, nevertheless, since he is standing unclothed, he may not make a bracha. This is also Torah prohibition according to most poskim. So I mean that's a very good example. So he's in a room and he wants to drink water. He's naked for whatever reason. So he wants to stick his head out of the room, like close the door, and say this blessing. Okay, that's the problem, as I say. According to most poskim, it's also Torah prohibition. Okay, so first we said his own private parts. Second, we said other person nakedness. Third, we say even he does not see his own private parts. Number 4, while his heart sees in double quotes his nakedness. And that's what actually what we discussed yesterday. This number 4. There is he is not wearing belt or trousers, which separate his heart from private part. So basically, what he is saying here, so the trousers that do not require 100% belt, and if they know, like even like loosely fit, it's also no problem. This prohibition is the Rabbanan of rabbinic origin. Technically, this applies only to men. However, it is also preferable for women to make the demarcation between hearts and private parts. Right. So the simple explanation is because the women's organs are inside, so there is no problem basically for them.
So what's it called over here? It's a Durabanan, and over here I looked at the section where it says B'Diavad. So if you make the bracha facing that way after the fact, it's okay.
Not facing this way. So we're talking about the case when he has like a bathrobe without belt. So yes, he does not put his nakedness.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm saying this. I'm saying that when he sees another man's nakedness, correct? Over there, it's a durabanan. Okay. But when he sees, his own, for example, yes, that's what I think.
If it's Torah, well, let's see his own naked. No, it's number 1. Well, another person, what the definition is. Shulchan, this is also Torah prohibition. Why are you saying that? In your book, it says that the Rabbanan.
Number 4.
But
number 4.
I'm not sure. We're in the middle of number 4. We didn't finish it. I'm in the first sentence of number 4.
Understood.
Okay, so let's. So another person nakedness. It's number 2. Okay, so it says Torah prohibition. So now we say that the Rabbanan, when he has this bathrobe or like very long short, I don't know, for whatever reason, like a very long short, and he does not see his nakedness, but it is covered, technically it is covered, but his heart sees. Well, it means, I mean, his heart sees if you don't have a belt. That's basically the issue. This one is the Rabbanan. Okay.
Wait, so is it also Durabanan when a man sees another man's nakedness, or no? Or is
no. It's number 2. It's Torah.
Understood.
Okay, so let's do this number 4 from the beginning. Slowly, we must understand. While his heart, his nakedness, that is, he is not wearing belt or trousers. So trousers, or we said underwear. It's also works, right? Which separates his heart from his private part. Right? The prohibition is the Rabbanan of rabbinic origin. Technically, this applies only to men. However, it is also preferable for women to make the demarcation, meaning some kind of belt, or we said like hug yourself, for example, right? Just 1 second, between the heart and private parts. Okay, for women, not necessary, but preferable. Okay, so far we good with this number 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So number 5. While his heart sees, so sees in double quotes, another person nakedness, he does not see the unclad person with his eyes. However, his body is facing the unclad person. This prohibition is of rabbinic origin. So here is let me start for a second. So now what we are talking about. We are talking about, for example, when you are in around the table and you ask this lady to come, like you ask the husband of yours, right, to come to your house dressed, and he forgot to tell her, or she said, I am pretty as I am, right? So, and she came the way she came, and now you're not allowed to face your way. You understand? Even though you want to say Dvar Torah, you have to say like she's sitting there. You have to say like this, like that, like it's unbelievable what people are doing, right? And they think that you're stupid, even though like it was never like maybe long time ago when we just started inviting people over for Shabbat, stuff like that. We never told them what to dress, how to get dressed, and people knew that maybe we have to be more respectful. And some women came with a head covering, even though they would walk in the shorts like on a normal day. So I mean, it was very respectful. But some people do not get the point. They do like regular the way they dress in office. So after some time, we start telling them, I mean, you want to come. You don't want to come. Like, stop it. Don't make us a favor. Understand? So that's that's the thing. Okay. So basically, you cannot see other person's nakedness. So I mean, the most popular is this one, like another woman or a Jewish woman without covering her hair. That's also nakedness. Continue. The Shulchan Aruch Chaim 74.5 state that one may not make a bracha while touching his private parts with his hand or with one of his limbs. For example, if one is sitting, there is a squatting or a standing in a position that his private parts are touching his leg, he may not make a bracha. So, okay, if he feels that his private parts touch his leg, so he's not allowed, basically. Okay. So now we're going to one, and we say in front of an unclad man. So we're talking about man in front of unclad man. Okay. A bracha may not be made in front of the male, 9-year-old or older. So commentary, let's see, commentary and continue. Some poskim rule that it is preferred not to make bracha while facing nakedness of a male even under 9 years old. According to this view, bracha should not be made even while facing nakedness of 1-day-old infant. So that's stringent, but most of the time I think we go by this opinion, right? I mean, just turn sideways, like turn away. It's only 2 seconds. You like don't. I mean, that's one of the stringencies. Like it's very easy to do. So I strongly recommend for people to do it because it's so easy.
Well, over here in footnote number 5, when it says leg, does it also include the thigh, or is it talking about the calf or the whole leg?
Well, his heart says. But when he just his heart sees another person nakedness. No, it depends on the person who is this person. If it's a male, so I mean, if his private parts are covered, it's he's not. There's no problem. If he's in bathing suit, he's in his underpants, there is no problem. We can say that. Of course, it's not proper. I mean, the better way is to turn away and say it. But for whatever reason, so if you're in a pool and everybody's in a pool and everybody's in a swimming trunks and stuff like that, so you can say it.
No, I'm talking about the second part where it talks about the Shulchan Aruch, where it quotes the Shulchan Aruch.
I mean, it's it's not related to number 5. It's a separate comment. The Shulchan Aruch, I'm going to read one more time, so since Israel does not have the text. The Shulchan Aruch, Orach Chaim, 74.5, state that one may not make bracha while touching his private parts. So that's it has nothing to do with number 5. So it's separate, right? So I mean, even with his hand, I'm not sure why would he do that. Even with his hand through the pants, right? So I mean, like move your hands away, basically, right? Even like he did not like have anything in mind, just mechanically, right? Or one of his limbs. So if he like derives like some kind of sensation from this touching, that's the problem. Yeah. And so, for example, if one is sitting, squatting or standing in a position such that the private parts are touching his leg, but I mean that's what he means.
Understood.
Okay. So all right. So let's go back. So between man and man. So we said if he's above 9 years old, that's a basic halacha, right? But some poskim say, and even a 1 day old baby. But I mean, of course, you see that Moel, who does this the circumcision. I mean, he does it in front of the baby, right? So of course it's an exception and stuff like that. Maybe he turns away. I never pay attention. He does, but Baruch Hashem, he has to pay attention, not me. Okay, continue. One may not make a bracha in front of the unclad person, even if he's a member of his own family. For example, one's son, one's brother, one's husband. So it does not make any difference. So even though it's a woman, right? And somehow this stupid husband of hers is getting out of the shower and he's not dressed. So she's not, and she wants to drink water, so she's not allowed to say bracha because he's dressed, he's undressed, basically. That's the problem. Okay, of course, and that doesn't matter. It's your son, it's your grandson, it's your father, it's your brother. It does not make any difference. So, all right, continue. The prohibition applies to making bracha in front of the unclad Jew or non-Jew, married or single. So it does not matter if he's Jewish, not Jewish, married, single. I mean, okay, does not make any difference, basically. Continue. Even if a person who is making a bracha does not see the unclad man, for example, his eyes are closed, the room is dark, etc. Nevertheless, since he's facing him, he's prohibited from making a bracha. Okay, so this is if you read between the lines, right? So basically, that it says that even if you close your eyes or there is dark room, but you're facing that person, there is a problem. So there is a leniency when they say about kiddush and stuff like that. So if you want to say kiddush and you want to close your eyes, right? So if you're not turn away, if you're so stupid that, or your wife is so stupid that she invited all these people, right, for you to lose your alam haba, you understand? So if so, you cannot turn your head left, you cannot turn your head right. So basically, you got stuck, right? So according to some opinion, to the linear opinion, you just close your eyes and you can say kiddush and then just stare in your plate and don't lift your eyes, basically. So that's Baruch Hashem. That's what you do. Okay, continue. Right. So, but it's only linear opinion. Not everybody agrees. So the most of the paskim say you have to turn your body away, or just close with a book, for example. Right. So I would do like I don't know a few times that they didn't listen, they forgot that this and that, or it was hot. I don't know, it was hot, and she came like dressed properly, but then she moved this article. So I would do like this, like I'm nearsighted as you can see. So I would do like this, closer to my eyes, like I don't know it by heart. Like I need to read every letter. So that was my solution. But since then, I mean, it was disastrous experience, and we try to tell them. So please respect us. If you want to respect, we don't need your gifts. leave the gifts for somebody else, but for us, you want to respect, dress properly for women, right? And leave your cell phones at home and don't. Right. Continue. However, is not in. So basically, this dark room and he's closing his eyes is not actually working, right? Why? Because he's facing that person. So any second he can open his eyes and see that person. Continue. However, if one is not facing the unclad person, is not facing, so he turned away. He make a bracha even though the unclad person is present. That's what we said. So, or there's a woman whose husband just came out of the shower, so she can turn away from him and make a bracha on water and enjoy. Therefore, if a member of one's household is unclad, and one wishes to make a bracha, or a child, right? 4 years daughter, right? She comes into the room. I mean, does she know? She does not know. And you're about to say Shema Yisrael, or whatever you want to say. So you turn away and you say Shema Yisrael or bracha on the food. Okay. So as we said, he should turn his body, complete body, not just head. It's not sufficient to simply turn his face. Face is very good, but it's not sufficient. So basically, that's the issue with when we have such a guest. Okay, so as not to face the unclad person and then make a bracha. So for your guests of yours, so they dress up in all of this fancy clothing, but for you it's torture. It's like you don't know what you just want to die now because of this thing, like from this situation. B'diavad. So I love this book. One like he said, okay, after the fact. So David asked me, like, after the fact, what do you do? Is it count, not count? B'diavad bracha is made while facing a man whose private parts were uncovered. The bracha, according to many paskim, is valid. According to new bracha, should not be made. Okay, see chapter 16, section B. Okay, so that's it. So if he said it, and so one more time, we said about in front of the unclad man. Okay. So after the fact, don't need to repeat. Continue. Number 2, in front of unclad woman. So with women, that's a different story. A bracha may not be made in front of female 3 years of age or older, whose nakedness is uncovered. There is whose private parts are uncovered. Okay, so now we're talking about private parts only, right? So let's read the commentary and explain.
A question. About the B'diavad, does the B'diavad apply to I'll give you all 3 situations. Does it apply to a man seeing his own nakedness when there's a robe and so only his chest sees his nakedness?
No. You're going too far. We discuss only the first case. First case is in another man's. Yes, we didn't get to what I said. We're going to, but not yet. Right, so we didn't get to it. So let me explain. Since you asked this question, I want to explain what the B'diavad is. B'diavad is like it means after the fact when you already did it, right? So but you cannot rely on B'diavad from the beginning. You cannot go and then say that that's what I'm going to do. That's okay. There is such opinion. No, such opinion only after the fact. Don't do. You're allowed to do, but in opposite to B'diavad lechatchila. That's in the beginning. That's a proper way to do. Lechatchila you should do that, but if he did not, and you started doing kiddush, and then she already came, this woman, and you cannot embarrass her and stuff like that. So that B'diavad, and what should you do in this case? So that's B'diavad.
What's Lamaisa?
What is it? What's
Lamaisa? Halacha Lamaisa?
Oh, Lamaisa. It's the bottom line. That's what we do in in a world.
Understood.
Right, it's a practical halacha. Like practically, what do we do? Okay, tell me about it. So let me read one more time. So bracha is not bracha may not be made in front of female 3 years old of age or older. So basically, okay, we all okay. So it says that why 3 for female, right? And why 9 is for male. So that our sages explain that a boy after 9 years old, he can have relations basically with a woman, and these relations actually valid relations, right? And a girl, I don't ask me how. It's very disgusting, but very sick people. So if she had the relation with somebody like some crazy, absolutely maniac, like under 3, so she's not. It's not considered relationships, and she can marry a Kohen basically, right? But if this maniac did whatever he did after 3 years old, so it's so she cannot marry a Kohen. Basically, this is valid relationship. So she's in some sense, okay, like a woman. So Rivka was 3 years old when she married Yitzchak. Okay. So I mean they stayed apart for some years, but it's different story. So 9 and 3. So one more time, bracha may not be made in front of female 3 years old or older, right? Whose nakedness uncovered is uncovered. There is her private parts uncovered. This prohibition applies even to the members of one's family. So just because she's your little sister or she's your daughter does not mean that you're allowed to see that you're allowed to say bracha, basically. Right? There is his sister, his mother, etc. Okay. 2 daughters. So meaning mother or sister. I guess it's when we're talking about 2 sisters, right? We're not talking about from the standpoint of men, right? It could be 2 sisters who over the age of 3 or even once 5. So if wife is not dressed, so you're not allowed to say blessings. So one comment about the 3 year older. Some poskim rule that it is preferable not to make bracha while facing nakedness of female, even if she's under the 3 years of age. According to this view, a bracha should not be made even while facing the nakedness 1 day old infant. See also note 6. Exactly as we said for males, so the proper way. So if you want to do stringency, there are kosher stringency in Judaism and the crazy stringency. So this is kosher stringency. Okay. Continue. Yeah. Go ahead.
What's it called? So I want to ask you: is it okay? Does it count as a crazy stringency to not look at another woman? Bichlal, for example, there was this one rabbi who told me you're allowed to, speak to a woman like, let's say you have to, right? Not like you have to, but more optional, to be nice, good morning, so on and so forth, instead of just putting your head down, if she's old enough to be your mother.
No, it's not true. It's not true. Age has nothing to do with that. I mean, if it's your neighbor, for example, and he's 85 years old, so you can say, how are you? Stuff like that. Do you need any help? Like with your groceries from the store, like go upstairs. Yeah, you can ask him.
So,
but that's it. But otherwise, if you're in a store and you ask where is this milk or that milk, okay, that's a different story. But in the office, when you speak. You see, I was in a position. This lady, my neighbor, she was very talkative and very friendly. So how friendly? She would hug everybody. So I would please, okay, not me, right? I was always trying to. I'm busy. I lied so many times in my life. So I pretend that I'm on the phone. She's very excited. She won't tell me the juice in it. So I'm not. Sorry. I'll talk to you later, and then she forget, or she would find somebody else. It was a big test. So, but for the other people, they would jump on the. I mean, she's very friendly. Big issue, big.
So let's
She's not going. She's never going to watch these videos. Baruch Hashem. Okay, go ahead.
let's say I go to a house and have a meal, right? Is it preferable to let's say I say it loudly while leaving, "Oh, the food was great," so on and so forth. Thank you, right? Or
Yes.
let's say I tell the husband that I like the food, but I rather just let's say the wife, right? I rather just not go up to the wife, make eye contact, and it's weird if you just
Yes.
like
So you can say out loud, "Thank you very much to this house, beautiful food. I enjoyed the whole atmosphere. Thank you very much. Thank you very much." And that's so she can hear. There is no problem. I mean, many women do all of the show just because of this. So you taste their food and see the chandelier and stuff like that. So with the renovation, right? So I mean, all right, but there is no problem. There is no problem. For example, I have students, and they in the process of conversion, right? And she's very like this lady is a fire. It's like unbelievable. She's very like dedicated and stuff like that. So her husband not as much. And she said sometimes she like used to she sent me this text like what no never voice but text. I mean that's like after the second month that I will talk to him, to her, and then I realized I created a group. She said no I said if it's private, I mean unless it's very very private, so you can talk to my wife. I don't need to hear the private things, right? So but if if you do not want your husband to know, so that's a big issue. You understand? I mean, it's not an issue. You can talk to my wife. She can tell me what's the problem, and we can communicate through my wife, basically. You understand? But if it's like general question about this and that, so I want your husband also to hear. So we created a group, and she sent me messages. He sent me messages. I reply. So basically, they can be monitored, right? So it's not only for me, but also for her. Understand that this chat.
Understood. So it's completely okay because I got Musar from someone for this. It's completely okay if I don't specifically go up to the woman and say thank you and so on.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%, 100%. So you can say, well, one step forward, like, but not do not come closer. I mean, women they're very sensitive, very they can take they can think like whatever they can think. Okay, so you said thank you very loud and clear and enjoy, and this I like this chicken, I like this stew, I like this soup, I like this very much. Thank you very much. I never tasted such a beautiful meal, and that's it. Then you go. That's it. So that's enough.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So continue. Israel, did you want to ask something?
Yes, I heard that 45 years old is the age that you are not allowed to have a maiden, maybe?
Or
a servant, a female servant in your house? I don't know how to say in English.
No, I understand. So one male with another male, I didn't get.
No, if you have some lady who is cleaning lady, 45 is not allowed, or something around that age, I heard.
There is no like specific age, right? But the halacha is that a man should not be with a woman who is prohibited to him, like in a close proximity, in a close house, basically, right? So if you have a cleaning lady, so just go out of the house, or make sure, for example, if people can come in and out of the house, or you're working in the office, right? You have your office, you do whatever you do, and people come, so there is no problem if you have this cleaning lady or a secretary, stuff like that. But
because I thought it was forbidden.
No, it is. One second.
Less than 45 years old.
No, there is no age, right? But you cannot live with somebody like have a meeting when nobody can come in basically. If you lock the door so nobody can come in, you're not allowed to be with this woman.
I say this because the other day my sister said that she maybe is sending some cleaning lady, and I said to her, maybe it's not allowed because she's under 45 years old, but I was not sure.
Any age. So I mean, so what is not allowed? Not allowed for you to be with her in this room. So if you can go out of the house, let her clean the house. There is no problem. Or let your sister stay over. There is also no problem.
Oh, okay.
It should be somebody else now. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so we said all of this apply to his own family or her own family. So her sister, like younger sister, older sister, naked, no big problem. Okay, continue. Eyes closed. Even if a person who is making bracha does not see the unclad woman, there is his eyes are closed and the room is dark, etc. Nevertheless, since he's facing her, he is prohibited to make a bracha. So exactly as we said, this thing with kiddush, right? Friday night or Shabbos morning, it doesn't matter. Be'Ezrat, so meaning Be'Ezrat after the fact, if he already did it. If bracha was made while facing a woman whose private parts, okay, no, I apologize. Okay, we were talking about still on private parts, whose private parts were uncovered, the bracha, according to many paskim, is valid. According new bracha may not be made. Okay, so he did it in front of his wife, or she did it in front of her sister, in front of her mother, not properly clad mother. So after the fact, we do not repeat the bracha. Okay, so continue. Improperly clad woman. One second, and this was what? In front of the improperly clad woman. So okay. So now we're talking about next one is improperly clad woman. Okay. The halakhic definition of the nakedness is dissimilar with regard to men and women. With regard to a man, nakedness refers only to private parts themselves, period, as we said, only private parts, right? Also applies to the area below the neck. Is that a woman? No, so. I skipped one sentence. With regard to the man, nakedness refers to only private parts themselves. So this man is very simple, right? With regard to woman, however, the halakhic definition of nakedness is also applies to area below the neck. So I'm meaning here, right? And also elbows. So the sleeve should be below the elbow, right? And above. So meaning from elbow and up, right? That's nakedness. Elbows and above, knees and above. So everything above the knee when she's sitting, basically, right? So I mean, if it covers the knee when she's standing, maybe it is kosher. But now she's going to sit. So what are you going to do now? And to the voice of a woman singing. According to many paskim, exposure of the leg below the knee also constitute nakedness. Okay, so let's. I want to return to the beginning, and we're going to go one by one. So I'm going to skip men. With men, everything is straightforward and simple.
Rabbi,
Only private parts. Yeah, go ahead.
let's say, for example, my mom, and she sees, she goes to some frum place, and I don't know, she sees some Gersh magazine, or a woman with her legs, without what's it called, leggings or something like that, and she says, or a red dress, a bright dress, and they say, see, look, everything's okay, so on and so forth. What should I say in return?
Could you please repeat the question? I didn't get. Yeah.
In cases where women or families are very lenient, or very or have some, I don't know, they should go to college or this or that. So, then exactly. So with those families, how do you explain that this isn't. How do you explain it to someone without saying Lashon Hara? We'll say it that way.
That's a very good question. So if you think it's a simple question, it's not a simple question, because as you said, otherwise it's going to be Lashon Hara, and it's not going to be for constructive purpose, right? So what we were learning today, constructive purpose meaning you're trying to help that person, right? That user. So you're not trying to help this lady with a red dress, right? Or with short sleeve. So basically, I always say, like, we don't learn the laws from them, right? We learn the laws from the books. We have our books and definition, what is correct dressing for a Jew, what is not correct from the dress. It came from Mount Sinai, from Moshe Rabbeinu, from God himself, and he gave us definition. So, and then she would say, so Moshe Rabbeinu, so God, and how did he tell? So, okay, he said, that's a different story, and he started telling her all of the story from the beginning. You understand? And then they get confused, and and that's it. But basically, you're right. So you cannot say they're modern, they're not good, and stuff like that. I mean, first of all, maybe only this woman is not. Maybe one daughter is not good. All others are good, and maybe she's coming back to Judaism, right? And now she'll hear this comment of yours, and she's going to get upset. So basically, I mean, without talking bad, so I said that's now not our way. So she's not Jewish enough. That's not our way. That's right. So try not to speak Lashon Hara, because one more time, it's not for constructive purpose, and it's not helping her in this situation. So it's a good question.
So, for example, it's Shabbos, right? And I like the rabbi and so on and so forth. I'm coming for the rabbi, but let's say Einik Shabbos is a problem. Why? Because let's say the women there, let's say you see their high heels on the floor or something like that, and to you it's like in your mind alarms go off. So is it better not to go there or to still go there?
So one more time the situation. So there is
I'm saying you're going for the rabbi, right? Good rabbi, but the kids not so good. The kids are like the yeshivish, but only in dress. You see what I mean? And all they do is talk. You never see them study Torah.
So it's better not to go there. The whole atmosphere is poisonous. And that's what we learn in a Hilchot Diot. It's actually in Hilchot Diot. It's like in chapter 6. So we're going to go to get to it. So we are in chapter 5, I think, if I remember correctly, and then chapter 6 in the very next chapter. So we're going to say, so Rambam is going to explain the atmosphere around you. It's going to poison the person. Like all of these people that he's in contact, it's guaranteed that they're going to poison him. You understand? So that's very dangerous road to go. Okay, so we'll have to stop soon. Yeah, but go ahead.
Very quickly. When talking to another person, right, or what question can one ask himself in his mind to see if he's talking to the other person for the sake of Torah, or because he just wants to talk, or what he's saying is because he wants covet or not covet? You understand? Many people, for example, I tell this one. So many people like people who like to do small talk. Small talk, like about nothing, like all of these jokes and stuff like that. So me personally, I don't like small talk. Okay, so somebody said, like I was going out of the shul, and somebody said, so where do you live? I said, well, why are you asking? I said, I live in Galus. Like I live in Galus. I said, what do you mean? Everybody? No, I said, I said, do you feel like you live in Galus? I pretend like I get excited. I said, whoa, no, I apologize. Yeah, like why would the guy ask what he wants to give me a lift home or stuff like that? So he wants to come to visit. He does he wants to invite me. Or another guy asked me where do I live?
I said, oh, you want to invite us over for Friday night? I said, but don't worry. If you don't have enough chairs and tables, I can bring before Shabbos and all my kids, and they're very nice. And if they break something, we're going to pay. We're going to pay whatever they break. And we're going to pay for a cleaning after. They go, whoa, what? Like, and it's still this expression on the people's face, like, whoa. I said, but how many? I said 8 kids, but they're all nice, and they're going to say tell Dvar Torah, and I say, I promise they're not going to grab anything from your plate. I'm going to tell them from this man's plate you should not grab, and they listen to. So the guy, like he said, oh yeah, I have to go this way. I have to talk to Rabbi. I say, Rabbi left 15 minutes ago. What are you talking about? Oh, Rabbi left. Okay, so maybe I have to help this guy to clean the shul. You know, so me personally, I don't like the small talk. So if you want to learn with me, okay, we're going to learn. If you want to my help, if you need the ride, I have my car there, I can give you the ride. But this, where do I live, wherever do I work, it's like annoying.
Understood.
You understand? So if somebody is for this small talk, so many times it's an empty person. Empty person. I mean, you wish each other good Shabbos, have a nice day, stuff like that. But otherwise, I mean, if it's not Torah, why would you waste your time and burn his time? Right? It's disrespect to his time also, and your time.
I agree. So let's say I have nothing to talk about. Let's say no Torah comes to mind, right? Should I just keep on listening to the other people talk?
Yeah, quiet. Keep quiet. You can always like if it's around the table, it could be a problem, or you can say I want to stretch my leg and go to the personal library. So everybody is proud of their library. Take any books, sit on the couch and read, or just stand next to. Maybe it would be this way, but just can I see your books? When I don't go anywhere to anybody's house, but when I used to do it, and I see it's time to go, so I would say can I see your books? Yeah, it's here. So I would read the book, and then they say, okay, you know what? It's time to go. Stuff like that. Let us bench and. Basically, that's what it is. So try to stay away from these empty conversations. There is so much to do in this life. So these empty conversations are basically not good. Not for you, and not for that person.
Understand.
Yeah, understand. So I'm from Galus, and if you want to come, you can come over. So I mean, the people get scared. They get. I mean, I tell them with a straight face. You know, if you need chairs, if you need tables, stuff like that. Okay, I think we can start here. So if you have any questions, so let me answer the questions. And because I still have one more class before Shabbos. Yeah.
So I asked Rabbi Reuven before, and he told me, I asked him how much Gemara should I learn, right? And he told me either a third or half of my studies, right? So I was wondering, for me, I want to learn a lot of Halachah. So I wanted to know, how could I balance it out to still either keep that amount of Gemara, or should I go a little bit less Gemara and do more Halachah?
Halachah is in this case, in this stage, is more critical. You understand? Because every day, like if you have this book, so some people have books, and I remember long time ago, there's this guy asked me a question, and I said, and I told him, I couldn't give him an answer. There's no problem for me to give him an answer. I knew the answer, but I went specifically. I have the same book, and say it's exactly in this book that we got for you on page 175. Let's say, right? Okay, I think if you read it, let me know if you have any questions. So and then he asked me the same question. I say, but did you see? No, I was busy. Like, what do you mean you were busy? Like I gave you the book, I gave you the page. We even paid for your book. Like, you normal? So you understand? So these people would be like punished severely for not learning. So you had the book, you have an opportunity, you did not do it, you're responsible. So in our case, so maybe a little less Gemara, a little less, whatever. But on another hand, halacha you cannot do more, too much, because your head is going to spin. There's too much information. Like in Gemara, it's a give and take, and you're not obligated to memorize all of the things and stuff like that, and you can follow. And sometimes there is a story, a nice commentary, and a nice hidush. But this halacha, it's to the point. It's only so much that you can take. So even if you want to do it a lot, so I don't think that you would be able to do too much.
Understood. So
That's go ahead.
So just to make sure once again, so if something is made out of, if it has polyester in it or it has cotton, it's okay, right? 100%.
Most, yeah. If it says 100, like they usually say 100% polyester, or on a modern shorts like wrinkle free, they would say 65% polyester, 35% cotton. So for sure there is no problem with that.
And let's say I have like a hat made out of felt, right? Like, the one that.
Yes.
Okay, they're okay.
Yes, there is. I mean, if you bought it in a kosher store, there is okay, but the felt is there are two types of material that they make hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one is it's actually leather, like it's from the animal, and another is a wool hat. So you have to check what kind of hat, but usually they don't use linen in that. So for those who do not understand what we're talking about, there is one of the negative commandments that we cannot have wool and linen together, and this prohibition is called Shatnez, and it's a Torah prohibition. So that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing. With shoes, how do I check? Like, or is there anything to check?
No, there's no problem with shoes. They don't.
Understood. And last question: should I get the Sefer What's Bothering Rashi or no?
I get it once.
Yeah,
I get it. I have one, but don't do it. I don't want to say on the camera why, but I mean it's not necessary. Basically, you just say you just learn what Rashi says, and that's more than enough.
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Is there any questions? Because we're about to stop. Is there? Okay. You're on mute.
Oh no, it's okay.
Okay, no problem. So since it's Friday, so let's.
I was that the app say Shabbat candles because here is 1 hour later.
Oh, well, 1 hour later. Okay, I see. All right. So thank you very much. So until Sunday, Be'Ezrat Hashem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.